gonna be okay though.
You think?
I hope.
I don't know. I might
Frostbite.
not make it. I might be a cryptid. You'll have to convince people that you had a wife. Hello, everyone. Welcome into another episode of A Toast to the Atypical. I'm Brit.
And I'm Dale.
And this is going to be...
Freaking awesome episode.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be very much led by Dale. I have no idea what he's put together.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we have much in the way of feedback from...
Well, our feedback is an apology.
Yeah, an apology. We
were away.
We thought we could handle like editing and stuff while we were on vacation, and
so
vacation ended up being a lot more stressful than we originally thought it was going to be.
Yeah, so here's what happened. We were supposed to go to Disney.
We did.
We went to Disney, which
Disney
was cool
World
because our plan was to
week.
have our Disney episode come out while we were in Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And this was November, which Florida hasn't had a hurricane in almost 40 years in November. And of course, when our flight was supposed to go out, it was canceled because a hurricane was basically hitting exactly where we were flying to at the time we would be landing.
Mm-hmm.
So our flight was canceled. The closest that we could get to a flight out of Philadelphia was 2 days later. Which would have screwed our Disney World plans. So
right. So the other problem was the way that the hurricane was tracking. Originally, it was affecting our arrival into Florida
and leaving on Saturday.
And
would
leaving
affect
on
our
Saturday,
departure.
it more than likely would have affected our
Right.
departure, but we obviously didn't know for sure. So,
Right. So we said, screw it. We just packed the kids up and we drove down to Florida from Philadelphia. So
that was super fun.
Yeah.
15 and a half hours actual drive time, 18 hours total in the car on the way down.
Straight through.
Overnight, lots of shifts, lots of coffee and Diet Coke and energy drinks and
but we got there,
riveting conversation to keep each other awake.
Had a freaking ball.
Yeah.
With the kids, and then we didn't get back home because we split up our drive home into a couple days.
Right.
Visited some friends along the way up, which was nice. But we didn't actually get home until Saturday afternoon. We were supposed to be home Thursday night if we flew, and we didn't get home until Saturday afternoon. Mm-hmm. So everything kind of got screwed up.
Plus, we were kind of expecting that we would have time in the airport and on the plane and whatever to take care of.
Or after the kids went to... Seriously underestimated how tired I would be after a day.
So that wasn't my concern. I really thought that we were going to be able to get stuff done in the airport itself because, you get there, 2 hours before your takeoff.
Yeah.
And I thought that we were just going to have that cushion.
And on the plane and stuff.
I guess on the plane itself. But obviously, being behind the wheel of a car, all of that time, even though we physically had more time between leaving our house and actually getting to Orlando, there was less time that you could actually physically be doing something else. So
right. So we apologize for not having that episode.
Rather than half-assing it, we figured we would just take a hiatus, enjoy our vacation a little bit more, and not have to worry about it, and then really be able to bring you guys a cool one when we got back, which we did, and we hope that you guys enjoyed it so far. It's only been we're recording this 2 days after it came out, so this is actually Thanksgiving night. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody! By the time you hear this, it'll not be Thanksgiving anymore, but.
We're both stuffed to the brim.
I'm gonna still be eating. I have a dessert stomach.
Yeah, you got all the snacks out.
Snacks are still leftover Halloween candy because our children have
some weird aversion
to candy.
Turned their nose
up at like everything, and I'm tired of letting the Skittles and the gummy bears and the Starburst sit unappreciated while my kids just don't bother with them. So I'm gonna give them the love that they deserve.
Well, that's very nice.
And drinks, so we really couldn't do a good drink that fit the theme without giving away some of the topics. So there's going to be things, and I don't know, I would say 99% of what Dale's going to say and get into. And the other drinks that we've, like, so the ones that we found that wouldn't give too much away, we either just, like, didn't have the stuff with, or we didn't have the stuff to make it with. So...
And I'm so sick of summer drinks.
Going with what we got, and we're keeping it simple tonight. Because this is going to be, this is a bit weird. I'm keeping it extra classy with the Franzia box wine, crisp white. Boom. It's fantastic. It's like $10 for that big box, and it's a good light wine. And I'm going with. Plus, I've had so much today that like a heavy drink just sounds horrible to me. So
I'm going with a little Woodford Reserve.
Oh, yeah. Is that the Mike just brought?
Bourbon whiskey, yeah. Buddy Mike just gave this to me last night for our annual taco night.
Our annual Thanksgiving get-together, which is never on Thanksgiving night, always on Thanksgiving
Eve. Well, a couple days before.
Yeah, well, no, it's usually the day after. Okay. But we have a concert tomorrow night, so that wouldn't work.
Tacos.
And we do tacos because it's the furthest thing from turkey that we could think of. So, yeah, fun times. Yeah. So, do you have anything else? Any new followers? Any new shout-outs?
No, nothing too specific. Just thank you guys all so much for the new follows. I mean, we do have new followers out there, and we appreciate all of you listening. And we're looking forward to getting you involved in the conversations on our comments and things like that. So, yeah, thanks for your support.
And thank you for your patience with us last week. I know for those of you who look forward to it every week, we apologize for it again, but...
deal with it.
We appreciate the patience and understanding. You know, it was.
Yeah. We're here. We're back.
We're here.
So
we're back in one piece. We made it through driving to and from Orlando.
Yeah.
With two little monsters.
Through the hurricane.
Yeah. Was it about an hour and a half we hit that rain?
Torrential downpour, tornado warnings, tornado watches.
About the tornado. That's right.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
It was like an hour and a half though, right?
Yeah.
What was that, the top end of Florida?
We were cruising, as soon as we got in Florida, we were cruising like 80 miles per hour down 95 the whole way. And then we hit that rain and traffic was not able to go any more than like 35, 40. It was blinding. It was coming down so heavily.
It was coming down like buckets, wind every which way. Both of our phones went nuts with the tornado warning.
Yeah. We saw a ton of flooded houses and...
Yeah, we're not sure how much of that was from
Well, the houses that still had water, though, were from the storm surge of this
one. Right, yeah.
But a lot of the damage was, from Ian.
So...
But cheers to the newbies.
To a wonderful vacation and to getting back in the swing of it. And thank you to the newbies. Yes. And the current ones, you know, and the oldies, too. You guys all deserve recognition.
Did we say what this episode is yet?
No, we didn't. No.
So this episode, we actually alluded to in a previous episode, and I forget which one it was. But
I think it was the...
Well, you know from the title, obviously.
Might have been the... No, it wasn't the conspiracies that turned out to be true.
I don't know. It was one of our super long episodes because we went on a rant
All of them are super long.
Well, that's true. We went on a rant afterwards. But, you know, from the title of this one that you're seeing, these are all animals that are fairly common, but were previously cryptids. So I have a list here, and I tried to kind of rank them by most common to most peculiar.
Okay. So what is a cryptid? What does that mean?
Yes. So a cryptid is, by Merriam-Webster says, is an animal such as Sasquatch or the Loch Ness Monster that has been claimed to exist but never proven to exist. There is also a pseudoscience and subculture called cryptozoology that searches for and studies unknown, legendary, or extinct animals whose present existence is disputed or unsubstantiated. So they particularly focus on popular ones in folklore such as Bigfoot, Loch Ness, the Yeti, Chupacabra, Jersey Devil. They refer to all of these entities as cryptids, and it's considered a pseudoscience by mainstream science. It's neither a branch of zoology or of folklore studies, so it kind of has its own
Interesting.
realm. Yeah. Was founded back in the 1950s. Yeah.
So basically it's things that like could potentially exist in this world. It's not like too far-fetched to exist. Like the cryptozoologists believe that it could be real, and they're trying to
or
prove
even
that
if they don't believe it's real, they're gonna. I mean, as a scientist would, they're gonna try and prove it wrong as well. I mean, they're not gonna. Yeah. So
they're trying to prove either way.
Either way, whether something's there or not. Okay. Right. So some examples of well-known cryptids. We mentioned a couple already, but Champ, which is the monster of Lake Champlain, very similar to Loch Ness monster. Nessie.
Okay.
Bigfoot. Also, we were just talking about this today. Other names for Bigfoot. So in the U.S. and Canada, it's Bigfoot and Sasquatch. Florida calls it the skunk ape. In the Himalayas, in Asia, it's the Yeti. And in Australia, it's the Yowie. And they all kind of have their own distinct descriptions. Like the Yowie, I think, is a little bit smaller and slimmer. The Yeti is usually like a light gray or a white.
I was going to say, it's usually like the abominable snowman kind of.
Right. Skunk ape is apparently almost like mossy looking to kind of fit in with the swamps and stuff in Florida.
Okay, like the marshlands. Okay.
Right. So they all have their... and then some other cryptids are the chupacabra, Jersey devil, Mothman, which we've talked about, Thunderbird, which we've also talked about, I think, in the Mothman episode. I alluded to the comparison of those two. Mm-hmm. So... those are some of the ones that cryptozoologists are
That might have been the episode we talked about this. It might have been the Mothman.
Could be. So, so the order that I tried to put these in are the most common today.
Okay.
So, and I have pictures here too that I'll be putting up on the video. I'll show you the pictures.
And these are all animals that people... like claim to have seen, but there was no proof at some point in time. And now they are commonly known, widely accepted fact.
Correct.
Okay.
So the first one.
Hit me.
A kangaroo.
What?
Yeah. So
I just saw one and you swear I didn't. So there's that.
This is where that happens. So I hear kangaroo and I just assume that they're just like running around like squirrels do in Pennsylvania, but in Australia, that they're just like hopping around all over the place. So in my mind, I was like, how did nobody know?
How do you not know? Like, how did anybody second guess that they did exist?
So the first description of a kangaroo was made by Amerigo Vespucci in 1499, and he described it as a, quote, monstrous beast with the head of a fox, hands of a man, tail of a monkey, and a bag that is used to carry its young.
I mean, when you put it that way.
Right. So people were kind of creeped out by it. Obviously.
I'd hardly call it a beast, though.
Pull that a little bit closer to you.
I was trying not to crunch into the microphone.
I appreciate that. So, my first, when I read that description, I was like, okay, I would not call them monstrous by any means. I think they're kind of cute.
They are kind of cute, but I heard they're mean as fuck.
Yeah, I hear they're mean as shit.
I heard like they'll
kick the fuck out of you. Yeah. Their head, I don't think their head looks like a fox. I mean, here's the picture. I'll put it up on the thing. They have like
the long nose.
They got the big ears. I don't think they look foxy.
They look more like a deer to me.
Yeah. So I was trying to figure out what more it looks like. I
think more of the head of a deer.
Yeah.
Female, obviously, but
right.
Even the coloring.
Yeah.
Very deer-like.
Right. Look at the little baby in there too,
though. I love the Joeys. They're so cute.
So I don't think it really looks like a fox in the face. Maybe the ears
I think
are
foxes
kind of
are a bit more pointy,
but yeah,
like they're a little more angular.
Right.
She looks all soft and cute.
Hands of a man. I could see that for sure.
I mean, if they were balled up in a fist, ready to punch
I could
in
definitely
the
see
fucking jaw,
that.
Sure.
Tail of a monkey. I can see that too. I mean, it's a big.
Do they have? I don't know that I ever really took notice of their tails.
They got big fat tails. So when they kick on their hind legs, they prop themselves up on their tail.
Yeah. See, I would think they got more like a freaking beaver or something.
Yeah,
like fatter. Yeah. Monkeys, I think, have like super long, skinny tails.
Well, skinny, but they're at the base. They're thick. They're strong because they need to. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I can see that.
Yeah. So in 1629, so this was 1499 was the original description of a kangaroo.
Okay.
In 1629, Francisco Pelsart captured a kangaroo and was hoping to become famous, but it died on his voyage home.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Then it took until 1770 on Captain Cook's voyage where Sir Joseph Banks rediscovered the kangaroo, and that changed it from a myth to an actual species. And I mean, today kangaroos they're in like so many zoos.
They're in Animal Kingdom.
They're in
I
Animal
saw
Kingdom,
one.
supposedly, allegedly.
So when we were in Disney, our older son and I were standing watching. Was that when we were watching the turkey vulture make its nest? Is that where we were?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So we're standing there watching this big ass, ugly, disgusting turkey vulture make its nest, and like, I don't know, my older one is obsessed with birds and just like nature in general, so he wants
Nature
to watch
boy.
it. And Dale had our younger son, and they're watching, but he kind of turned away for a second, and our older son and I were still watching, and right behind where this turkey vulture was building its nest, we just like do, like 4 little hops right to left. This kangaroo just goes by, and the two of us look at each other, and I'm like, "Oh my God, buddy, did you see that?" And he's like, "Mommy, did you see that?" So Dale turns around and he's like, "What just happened?" And we're like, "We just saw a freaking kangaroo," and there's literally not another one in sight anywhere. Anywhere. So now it was like a running joke for the rest of our trip that we were making up the kangaroo sighting for attention, I guess. But we really
Sure,
did.
you saw a kangaroo.
She was real.
Was it she?
I don't know. Did the males have pouches too? Or just the females?
I think the males. Oh no, yeah. I was gonna say I think the males are the ones with the pouches. That's seahorses.
Seahorses, male
Carry.
seahorses actually
Yeah.
are the ones to get pregnant.
Yeah. I don't know if the males do. It's a good question.
I'm
Not
pretty
sure.
sure
I
there
feel like
was
they
a pouch.
probably would.
Oh, I'm
knows?
pretty sure there was a pouch. So I just assumed it was a female, but I might be off. I don't know.
Weird.
Anyway,
Anyway,
there was a kangaroo.
second one. We're already on to number 2. We've talked about this one before. A gorilla. Not really. I was very surprised when I heard that, but it's not a surprise to you because we've talked about it.
Yeah, you told me
I
about
brought
it.
it up on an episode previously.
Whichever other episode we alluded to cryptids, you told me about the gorilla.
Yeah.
Which
So,
I was floored by.
Yeah. So gorillas. An explorer, Hanno the Navigator, was exploring the African coast in 500 BC, and he described coming across a tribe of gorillae, monstrous and violent humans. So he actually referred to them as humans. He thought it was like a tribe of strange locals in the land.
Just like
because they're so
who was
human-like.
the redheaded kid, the crying kid, in the one. The ape boy.
Ape boy, yeah.
They
Thought
they
it
were
was just
all
ape boy.
people.
Yeah. So now scientists actually suspect that he encountered chimps or baboons, but
Did
the
they have
name
tails?
gorilla stuck with this. I don't know.
So where did that term come from? Was that a term that was like does gorilla mean something?
Yeah. So that's I guess
I've never heard that word.
Well, yeah, I guess then it was like a monstrous large creature or large something was called that. Yeah. So the reports of these monstrous hairy humans who would attack and overpower villages continued throughout the centuries, but they were never taken seriously by scientists. In the 16th century, an English explorer described ape-like humans visiting his campfire at night, just out of curiosity, looking at things at night. And gorillas in general remained cryptids until 1847.
Wow.
Thomas Savage found gorilla bones in Liberia, and him and a Harvard anatomist, Jeffries Wyman, released a formal description of the species and called it gorilla as the scientific name. So
sounds like something our kid would have named.
Yeah, right. So that was 1847. there was a species of gorilla called the mountain gorilla. So there's like multiple species of gorilla. They all look very similar. I think a lot of it has to do with location
I
and
was going to
stuff.
say, is
But
that just...
yeah, but the mountain gorilla stayed a cryptid for additional years until 1902. A German officer shot one in the Virunga region of Rwanda and took it home to Europe, and then they put that one on the list of real animals as well. Took it off the cryptid list.
Okay.
Kind of neat.
So there's like a whole running list of cryptids?
Yeah, I mean, you can. I could probably link it. I mean, but if you look up just cryptids online, there's a list of them.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, there's a ton. I would probably link the Wikipedia page. I know Wikipedia you can't really like rely on, but they have a good list of them from all over the world.
Okay, I was gonna ask that like regionally.
Yeah, which is
I'm
really
sure,
neat.
like,
And there's a lot of similar.
no one from Australia is gonna give a flying rat's ass about
Right.
the Jersey Devil. So.
Right. So there's a lot of similar ones. There's a lot of ones I've never really heard of. I mean, there's a ton of them.
Okay. Cool.
This next one, the unicorn.
I'm sorry, what?
The unicorn.
That's not proven. That's not a real animal.
Is it though?
Is it a fucking narwhal?
No. Close. Very close. So Pliny the Elder, yeah,
Love him already.
he wrote a document called Natural History, and he had all sorts of stuff about different animals and lands and botany and all sorts of stuff in there. So he described a unicorn 2,000 years ago. Described it as having the feet of an elephant, the tail of a boar, while the rest of the body is like that of a horse. It makes a deep, lowing noise and has a single black horn which projects from the middle of its forehead.
It's a fucking rhino.
This animal cannot be taken alive.
Oh my god.
Yes. So,
holy shit.
yeah, so it seems that he was actually describing a rhinoceros. And in fact,
I don't feel like the rest of its body looks like a horse though.
the shape, yes. The size,
Yeah,
no.
okay, all right. I guess, yeah. Horses are more bulbous than I
Right.
realized recently.
Right. And in fact, the scientific name for an Indian rhino is rhinoceros.
A water horse.
Rhinoceros. No, that's a hippo. Water horse is hippo.
Oh shit, you're right. Okay.
The scientific name for an Indian rhino is Rhinoceros unicornis.
How about that?
Yeah. So you said a narwhal, and it's funny because that is another thought of what could have been a unicorn. But Vikings used to catch narwhals, cut their tusks, and sell them to people as unicorn horns and say that they've been to lands that unicorns have been and we've killed it and this is the horn of the unicorn.
Damn Vikings.
Crafty motherfuckers.
Wow.
Crafty motherfuckers. So this one was never, obviously unicorns were never proven or anything, and given the time frame, we can't just like call up Pliny the Elder and be like, "Yo, did you actually mean this fucking gigantic rhinoceros?"
Like this thing we actually have a name for now?
Yeah, but I mean, the description really does seem like it's a rhino. I mean, and given the area,
with you just reading it out loud, I figured out what it was. So okay, interesting.
Yeah. Because like there's some things.
Was a narwhal ever on the cryptid list? Are you gonna get to that? Because I
don't have that on here.
I thought for the longest time that narwhals were like unicorns, like that they weren't real and that it was just like a joke thing.
I don't have them on here. And that's something we can.
I was watching something with Casey and it was actually like on there. I was like, oh my god, they're real. It was not that long ago. Our kid's only 5. I don't care.
I think, and I could be totally wrong, but I feel like narwhals are actually fairly common in wherever they live.
Okay.
So I feel like if Vikings could just go like get them and take their horns, like I feel like they're probably pretty prevalent wherever their habitat is. So I don't know. I can look that up. Do you know
anything about their habitat?
I think they're in like not Antarctica. Polar bears, Alaska.
I don't know.
I
thought polar bears were in Antarctica.
I think, well, maybe I don't know. Antarctica's fake anyway. Antarctica's fake.
We'll talk about that in another episode, I guess.
Fake. Yeah, who knows what's actually in Antarctica? Maybe it's unicorns. Maybe it's real unicorns. I don't know.
Maybe that's the real shit that they're hiding at Area 51. It's all friggin'.
Maybe that's Area 52.
Maybe that's Area 52. See? Who I slipped.
All right. So that's the
Who
unicorn.
knows?
Or the rhinoceros. Also, in doing the... It's really not an episode unless like one of us spills something. I feel like
it was me right away.
Yeah,
first episode, but it's
me
been
like
you every
time.
single.
I also
one
knocked
since.
over one of our lights and shattered it everywhere before recording. So
meanwhile, if you're watching this, you'll notice that my hair is actually styled and I have makeup on. I don't look like a homeless person. So you're over there fucking shit up, and I'm just over here looking pretty.
Looking pretty. Keep sitting pretty over there.
I will.
Pony boy.
What?
What?
Stay golden, pony boy.
I know what it is. Tell me. Anyway, next one I kind of threw in here because it's definitely on this list of animals that were cryptids, but are now proven, but like they're not in zoos or aquariums or anything. A giant squid.
Okay.
So reports of giant squid date back over 2,000 years to the time of Aristotle. But genetics recently, actually, since they're able to find more and do more studies on them, genetics actually show that they've been around for over 730,000 years.
Holy shit.
Right? And they're in the depths of the ocean. So, like, we still don't know much about them. But again, my boy Pliny the Elder,
again,
a new shit. The dude knows shit. He, in natural history... So natural history, I should have said this earlier, it became a model for today's encyclopedias.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know that I ever knew the name Pliny the Elder, but I feel like I knew about the natural history book.
Yeah. So he wrote about the giant squid in natural history, described it almost perfectly, except he was off on the size. He described it as almost 30 feet in length, but they're upwards of 40 feet. So he actually must have seen a smaller one.
He must have seen a baby.
Yeah. This creature is likely the inspiration for several mythical sea monsters, like the Kraken of Norse mythology, and Scylla, I think is how you say it, from Greek mythology.
What about, is it Cthulhu?
What's that one?
I'm not sure. I thought it was a giant squid, but I might be wrong.
Could be. I don't know.
It's another mythology thing.
Okay.
Metallica has a song called "The Call of Cthulhu," but
okay,
I don't know
you could
what
look
it
that
actually
up.
means.
Yeah.
I don't know much about it, so.
Gotcha. Okay. So the first recorded discovery of a mostly... Sorry, you're going to hear a noise here for a second. It's not my ass. It's me fixing my microphone.
No, those are silent today.
Yeah. So the first recorded discovery of a mostly intact squid carcass was in the 1870s. So I remember recently hearing about stuff like washing up in, I don't know, like Japan or something like that, and like it just washes, like carcasses will wash up on shore. So there are pictures, and again, I have a picture. If I haven't put it up yet, it's here, and I'll show this to you here in a second as well.
Me?
Yeah. So this is actually a small one, but that's compared to a guy's laying next to it.
Interesting.
But those are actually small ones. So this animal actually remained a cryptid until 2004.
Wow.
And yeah, so a group of Japanese scientists captured a live giant squid on camera when they were doing some sort of study or dive or whatever.
Huh.
Yeah, and I'll see if I can find that footage. I feel like I've seen it. I don't have it
pretty
saved here, but I'll see if I can find it. If I can, I will put it. I will put it into the video.
That's really neat.
Yeah, it also has a close relative, very creative, the colossal squid, which may grow to greater sizes. And the only reason they know this is because, really the only thing they know about it is the marks that they've found on the sides of sperm whales who live in the same habitat as these. They found
as the giant squid or as
the
the
giant
colossal?
squid.
Okay.
Well, apparently the colossal
Both
as
of
well.
them in the same area. Okay.
The suckers marks on the sides of these things are gigantic.
Okay.
So they're thinking that there's something bigger than these giant squid down there.
Okay, so it's bigger than any of the giant squids they've ever come across.
Huge, yeah.
So is there any chance that the giant squids are actually not like full grown and that it's all the same species? Or
I guess there's a chance, but from what I've seen of sketches that they have of, and I guess I could throw up a sketch of the colossal squid as well. The colossal squid does look different. I'm not sure how they came
like
up with that.
structurally, okay.
But structurally, it has a much bigger. I forget what the like the head part of a squid is called, but it has a much wider head.
Okay.
And these giant squid look a lot more like your traditional squid. They're real narrow, and the head's real long.
So does the colossal squid look more like an octopus then? Like with the more rounded head?
No, it still has like the flaps on the head that a squid has. It's just a much wider head.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, pretty crazy. So there's still very little known about both of them, but kind of neat.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty cool. Do you need a refill on your drink? Or are you okay?
I'm okay right now. You can do another. I'll get one in a few. And I want to look up the Cthulhu and see if that's... Okay. I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
Fair. Next one is one of our favorites that we just saw. The okapi.
I love them. They're so cute.
The okapi. And they
they also look... things. Yeah, they're weird.
They're weird looking. Like, I would almost put them in the realm of, like, a unicorn. Like, if somebody was trying to describe what these are, I'd be like, fuck are you talking about?
Yes. Because it kind of looks like an antelope, kind of like a zebra, kind of like a horse, kind of like a deer. But apparently it's the closest relative to a giraffe.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
Very.
Because it doesn't even look like a giraffe in any capacity. But when we looked at their skulls...
So they have they have horns like giraffes do.
Yes. That's
really the only thing.
And when you look at their skulls side by side, they're very, very, very similar. Yeah. But I feel like... And I mean, maybe it's just because giraffes are always so fucking far away from me. Like, I feel like I don't get to see their heads that often. Yeah. Like, the okapi is significantly shorter. Yeah. And is plural okapis, or is that just is okapi just like...
I think plural of this is okapis.
It is?
I believe so.
That sounds stupid.
It does.
I feel like it should just be like...
I could be totally wrong on that. I didn't look that up, but I think...
Which one? What animal is it that's like the same singular and plural?
Moose.
I'm having a super... Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I'm having a super brain fire right now.
Moose.
Moosin.
Moosin. Mooses.
Meese.
So an okapi is an African mammal that looks like a cross between a zebra and a donkey. They have two hair-covered horn-like protrusions above their eyes, and they're part of the giraffe family, as Brit mentioned. And the hairy horns are almost the exact same as the giraffe. I don't know what purpose they serve, but...
Yeah, I don't either.
Maybe it's something to do with, like, cooling them down, or... I don't
know, man.
They're weird. So in 18...
I mean, I guess being in Africa, they could probably use some help cooling off, but...
Yeah.
There's plenty of other animals in Africa that don't have this stupid-looking fucking antenna on top of their head.
Yeah, I don't know. Strange evolutionary addition. I don't know.
Same reason we have a pinky toe. Who the fuck knows? You don't need it.
I thought that contributed a lot to your balance.
Not really. Huh? They're useless. And pinkies on our hand are useless too.
Not really. What would you put out when you're drinking?
I don't.
Pinky. You don't?
No.
Oh, yeah, you're drinking boxed wine. You're not fancy.
I did almost make tea because it's cold as shit in this room.
It's not cold.
It's cold.
Like 66
again, if you're
here.
watching, I literally have a blanket on me right now. I'm freezing. There have been other nights that we've been in this office and I'm sweating buckets. But tonight I'm cold.
I think you're going to be okay, though.
You think?
I hope.
I don't know. I might not make it. I might be a cryptid. You'll have to convince people that you had a wife.
Oh God. Back to the okapi. In 1890, Sir Henry Stanley was the first European to describe the animal, but he didn't have any physical proof, and everybody said that's a load of bullshit.
Sir Stanley is cray-cray.
If you don't have any pictures, it didn't happen.
Pictures or it didn't happen.
Yeah. Its habitat was, the main reason nobody believed it is because its habitat was Central Africa, which was already well known to European explorers. Okay. And since they had never seen one, they didn't believe any stories of its existence.
Homeboy's full of shit.
They didn't believe the locals or anything either.
You couldn't possibly know anything about your own
You
town.
don't even live in here. What the fuck you talking about? I know, assholes.
That's like the most
arrogant
white
bullshit
dude shit I ever heard in my life.
Right?
Oh my God.
They were so rarely seen that even locals who told stories got most of their information on the animal through their tracks and droppings. So they really didn't see them either.
Learn about them through their poo.
Yeah. Poo's cool, man. You can learn a lot. What?
Nothing. Okay. Keep going. I'm not talking about poop. Oh, right. Don't wanna.
Okay.
And they don't want to hear about it.
No,
you guys don't want to hear about poop.
Separate podcast.
I'm not gonna. You can have a guest on that one.
Oh yeah. Who wants to be my co-host for my poop pod? 2 poos in a pod.
You guys are stupid. Whoever you are out there, I don't even know who you are to volunteer yet, but you're stupid.
Let's do it. 1901, zoologist Sir Harry Johnston obtained a skull.
I feel like they just give out like sir titles willy-nilly.
You are sir. He obtained a skull and some skin samples with the help of locals, and this confirmed the existence of the animal. It wasn't actually caught on film until 2008. That's pretty crazy.
Like, when did he get the skull and the skin sample?
1901.
Yo, it took you guys a whole fucking century to get your shit?
To get it on film. That's wild. I mean, that's how elusive this thing is, I guess. I don't know. They don't look like they're very conducive to much. So maybe they just, like,
they don't look like they'd be able to, like, hide that well either.
Right.
Like, they kind of stand out. And I don't know, are they fast?
They don't look very fast. They don't look like they're fast as fuck.
Fast as fuck,
yeah,
boy.
They don't look like they're built for speed, that's for sure.
Do they, like... I don't know. I mean, I'm sure their markings are good for something, but it's got to be, like, camouflage in some capacity. I just think markings. Whatever. What do I know?
Strange.
This is why I work with people and not animals.
You don't like them either.
No, that's not true. I like people.
Some.
Well, I like most people.
Okay. Eyeing up the candy. Let's see how many more we have here. 1. We're getting to the end. 2. 3. I think I only have 3 left. 1,
all right. Well, this might be a good time to take a break.
3.
You just refilled, right?
I did.
I'll refill. Okay. I'll figure out what the Cthulhu is and if I even have any semblance of an idea of what I'm talking about.
Sounds good.
And we'll be right back.
All right. Catch you soon. Toodaloo. Ciao for now.
Are you stopping this or no?
Never gonna stop. I'll keep going. The whole break. All right, welcome back again, I guess. Jesus Christ, we just had quite a conundrum going on.
That was funny. Anyway, we're back.
Jesus Christ, I just spilled a drink and... Oh.
We're struggling over here. But in the meantime, I did find information about Cthulhu, and I am saying that correctly, apparently. So the song Call of Cthulhu, they spelled it a little differently in the Metallica song, which is really the only reference I know. Okay. But it was based on a short story written by H.P. Lovecraft called The Call of Cthulhu.
Okay.
It was published in the American pulp magazine Weird Tales in 1928.
Cool.
And in the story, Lovecraft describes a gigantic entity worshipped by cultists in the shape of a green octopus, dragon, and a caricature of human form. Apparently,
so this was inspired by...
This is not what I thought it was, but there's a statue in the story of the monster described as a monster of vaguely anthropoid outline, but with an octopus-like head whose face was a mass of feelers, a scaly, rubbery-looking body, and prodigious claws on hind and four feet, and long, narrow wings behind. He's said to resemble a green octopus, dragon, and a human caricature, hundreds of meters tall, with webbed, human-looking arms and legs and a pair of rudimentary wings on its back. Head is depicted as similar to the entirety of a gigantic octopus with an unknown number of tentacles surrounding its supposed mouth.
Is there a picture of this goofy-looking motherfucker somewhere?
There's like a...
I guess we'll put it up.
There's like a drawing of like a fan thing.
Okay. All
that
right.
people
so we'll
have,
put that up to kind of...
People have done like their own interpretation of it, I guess. But it kind of looks like the dude from Pirates of the Caribbean with like the weird like tentacles on his mouth. That, but like humongous and green.
Interesting.
And not like...
Where are they getting dragon from though?
I think because it's like scaly and weird, but like that's...
Oh, it looks almost exactly like him.
Yeah.
Okay. Weird
so,
looking.
I mean, maybe that guy was based on that, but this is one of the other drawing depictions.
Okay.
So, I mean, interesting. I
just
don't
sea
know.
monsters in general, it looks like, is kind of...
apparently there was a film in 2007 as well.
Oh, shit. We're watching that. Well, I'll watch that.
I'll watch it with you. Do that. No, maybe I won't. That's fucking terrifying.
You say?
Oh, my God.
Ew.
Right? It looks like Owen.
What
Look at the size of those eyes.
Oh my God, there's multiple.
Oh no.
Ew, man. No, that's gross. Fucking ew.
You eating these?
What? I ate a couple. They're not great.
Oh, I like
all right.
them. They're sour.
You need to go plug that back in?
No, it's fine now.
All right. You're just going to dump it in whiskey?
No, I'm just going to hold it over here.
Kind of what I just did to mine.
I mean, whatever floats your boat, buddy.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the next...
Jump back in here.
Cryptid, not cryptid, we're talking about. Can you keep your crinkling to a minimum?
Formerly known as a cryptid.
Yeah.
I can't. You're doing all the fun stuff, so I'm eating.
The bondegazao. The what?
Yeah.
The fucking what? All right.
All right, give me the real name.
So it's also known as the dingiso.
Also not helpful. Dingo?
No. Not even close.
Dingo ate his baby.
Stop. So this is a small tree-dwelling marsupial with a long tail, black and white fur, and walks on two legs.
Is it a lemur?
Looks kind of like a koala. It looks. So this is what it is.
It looks like a sloth bear.
It kind of looks. The coloring of it looks like a sloth bear. Yeah.
He's cute. I try to hug him.
Yeah. He looks kind of like a koala, in my opinion. Not as fuzzy, but like same idea. Tree, like
a little more red panda-ish to me.
Yeah. So, Bondegazao is one of the ancestral spirits of the Moni people in western Papua New Guinea.
Is it actually Moni or is it Moani?
Moni.
Like Moani Myrtle?
Yeah. The animal's ties to the western Papua New Guinea mythology made it a cryptid for decades. So this was something that they called it the man of the woods.
I thought that was Justin Timberlake.
Is that what it is?
I thought so.
Was that the name of one of his things?
Recent
Man of the Woods? Is that what it was? What a fucking tool. What a tool. What a tool. I can't believe that. I couldn't see him in the fucking woods doing anything.
I'm pretty sure he named his kids like like fucking Phineas and Silas.
Weirdo.
No, then that's not anything against those names. They're just very...
Not Man of the Woodsy?
No, I think they are. I think that's very, like... I don't know, borderline, like,
So you
Amish.
say Phineas, and I'm thinking, like, Phineas and Ferb, little fucking nerdy dude?
I never watched that. I wouldn't know. But,
so,
like, Silas sounds like a very old, traditional...
Silas is a traditional name. Isn't that biblical, though, Silas?
I don't know.
I think it's a biblical
See, I think of, like, Amish.
I don't know.
With both of those names.
I don't know. Good question.
I don't know.
Ask somebody else. So I thought it was kind of cool that this animal basically maintained its cryptid status because of its mythological ties. Like it shared the name of a mythological being that the people believed in. So basically what would happen is if one of these people who believed in it, one of these Moni people believed in this ancestral spirit, if they saw it in the woods, they took it as they were having a spiritual encounter with something.
Okay.
And it wasn't like I saw this creature in the woods. They saw the man of the woods that was giving them some sort of spiritual something. So it was not...
So that was like his familiar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And he was choosing to appear to them through that thing.
So they would take it as like a learning thing. Yeah. So it was all part of their religious experience at that point.
And I mean, I guess if the animal is elusive enough and not many people are seeing it regularly, like freaking squirrels and birds, or maybe birds, maybe drones, who knows. But if it's elusive enough that people aren't seeing it regularly, and you have this belief of there being, this woods dwelling higher being, I can see how that. I can see how that all precipitated in that culture.
And apparently they are very elusive because in the 1980s,
well, yeah, they'd have to be.
Tim Flannery, who was an Australian scientist, took the first picture of a Bondi gazelle, which is when it became 1980s.
Okay.
So it took with the locals, because he tried to find on his own, went with locals, and with the locals, it took them 11 days to find one. So like they had tons of people
even knowing
marching
that it existed
through,
and searching for it. Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which was kind of neat.
That is neat.
Yes. Yeah. You just said something a minute ago that I wanted to talk about, and I forget what it was now. But that's the way my brain works, and it's a problem for me. I don't know.
That, my friend, is potentially ADHD.
Well, I knew I had this last thing on it that I wanted to be like, oh yeah, well, what about this? Ancestral spirit.
Familiars.
I don't fucking know. I don't know. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Do you also have the problem like when you walk over like a threshold into another room?
I have a problem with
where
all of this shit. I go in and out of the same room 15 times a day. I still didn't even get it. The paper towels in our kitchen need to be refilled. And I went into the garage to get them, forgot what I went in there to get, and then went back in the kitchen. And then, yeah.
I'll get them when I lock up.
I know, but it's not, whatever.
I get it.
So, yeah, the Bondi gazelle.
And what was the other name for it?
The dingiso.
Which one is like the name that they use more regularly? Like,
dingiso. I think it's dingiso, also known as Bondi gazelle.
So the Bondi gazelle, that was the higher being name. Okay, so they tried to differentiate from that belief and give it like a real name.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
Formerly known as.
The next one, which is another animal that we saw in Disney, which apparently is like the home of the cryptids, formerly known as cryptids. The Komodo dragon.
He was pretty cool.
He was neat.
Casey was big into him.
Yeah. So, males can weigh. So, this one and the next one, I have a little bit more detail on the actual animal itself because now they know more. They're in captivity. Like, I mean, not that they don't know more about the Bunday-Gazelle and stuff like that, but they're basically a tree kangaroo. They're part of the kangaroo family. Komodo dragons, males can weigh up to 200 pounds. Females can weigh around 160 pounds. So while I'm telling you all this, think about like when somebody went back and said like, this is what I saw. Just imagine being told this and like if you would believe it or not.
I don't believe anybody ever for anything. I have serious fucking trust issues. So my answer is already no.
Bullshit.
I'm immediately like, nah. What do you have to gain from this? Because there's
if your
gotta
mouth's
be a
moving,
motive.
you're lying.
Absolutely.
They can grow over 10 feet long. The tail is as long as its body, and the strength of it could snap a man's leg by swinging it. Impressive.
Okay.
Adults have about 60 serrated teeth that are frequently replaced.
Like sharks?
Yes. That's the one thing they
So
describe
they
it as.
have like rows, or is it
underneath? Yeah, they have rows.
So there's only one visible row at any time.
Yes, one visible at a time, and then they grow in right after. And I don't have it on here.
What are they, just like fucking perpetual toddlers?
Basically.
Ugh. That sounds like a shit existence.
The other thing that I read, I don't have it in my notes here, but they regularly have a bloody look around their mouth. Like they're drooling blood almost.
Is that from their teeth shedding constantly?
No, but it's their teeth have a small, very thin layer of skin that covers over top of them. And they tear that up whenever they bite into something. So their mouth is constantly like bleeding and healing and bleeding and healing.
That is a horrible evolutionary trait.
It's weird.
That's
They've been around
so
for like
stupid.
millions of years. So apparently I just hit puberty too because my voice just cracks so bad.
You just pulled a Bobby Brady over there.
Yeah. So this was awesome about them. Their skin is reinforced with armor scales, which contain tiny bones in them, and they basically function as a natural chainmail.
Armor?
Yeah. How cool is that? So they don't just have scales, they have bones inside of those scales. How cool is that?
What the hell?
Right? So imagine being told this shit.
I'm being told it right now, and I fucking saw one for myself, and I still don't believe it.
They have a pineal eye, which a lot of lizards do.
That's the vertical...
light sensing, a light sensing organ on top of their head. They have a venomous bite, which includes toxins that inhibit blood clotting, lower blood pressure, muscle paralysis, and the induction of hypothermia. And this bite can kill a human within a few hours. Bonkers.
Are they like... They move like slow though, don't they?
So that's actually something I meant to look up.
Because when you said that like a swing of its tail could break a man's leg, I was like, he kind of moved pretty sloth-like. Like he didn't really seem like he was going to be that quick.
Like they're one of those things that can bolt kind of fast,
fucking alligator?
like an alligator.
Yeah, they're terrifying.
So they can run
alligators.
12 miles per hour is what the fastest.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Let's see.
Not. I feel like, I don't know, a grown adult can run faster than 12 miles an hour, can't they?
Let's see. No.
A grown 12 miles an hour? I know I can't. I can't even run 12.
The average adult. Okay, average adult sprinting speed for many Okay, so this is athletes.
Doesn't matter. Just give me something.
15 miles per hour for an athlete.
All right, that's okay. 12 miles an hour doesn't seem like a lot to me, but I've also only got the frame of reference of like a car in the school zone, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's fine.
He'd be safe in the school zone. He'd be okay. He'd be waving at kids, snapping their legs as he goes.
No, he better do the speed limit in the freaking school zone with the armor that he's got surrounding him. He could do some damage with that.
Seriously.
Watch out for the kids. Slow down. Save lives. The sign says.
So they were talked about for centuries, but scientists laughed at the idea of a dragon or any large lizard.
Yeah, I find it weird that he's called a dragon still, and they haven't like
Yes.
changed that name.
I think it's just because of the size of them. They're the biggest lizard.
Yeah, but he's still a lizard. He's not a dragon.
No, that's a
like,
dragon.
what makes a dragon a dragon? I thought it was the fire-breathing aspect.
No, not all dragons are fire-breathing.
What do you mean?
Not all dragons were fire-breathing.
What makes it a dragon then? Like the flying?
I don't know. I've never studied that. No, I don't think so. Because I thought like some dragons did not fly. I'm pretty sure.
So what makes it a dragon?
I don't know. We're gonna have an episode on dragons.
I'm not. No. Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up now.
We're gonna have an episode on dragons.
You're not gonna find a definite answer because there's no proof of dragons existing yet.
There's a reason for that. The dragon's usually represented with the huge head of. Yeah, I don't know. We'll get into that in a different episode though. Yeah, so there's wingless dragons too. They were called worms, WYRM. So we'll get into that in an episode. There's some cool stuff about dragons out there. Anyway,
I don't have the
Komodo
energy for it
dragon.
Right now. Komodo lizard.
He was talked about for centuries. So in 1910, Europeans first documented the Komodo dragon, and they called it a land crocodile. Because I guess of the look, the size, the teeth. I don't know. It's kind of a stupid name for it. I don't think they look anything like a crocodile.
That's dumb.
In 1912, 2 years later, it gained widespread notoriety when Peter Ewens, the director of the Zoological Museum of Bogor, published a paper on the creature after receiving a photo and a skin sample from Lieutenant Stein van Heinsbroek of the Dutch
I love
colonial.
him already.
I know, right? Of the colonial
almost as much as I
administration.
Lars Flugen.
Lars Flugen, the volleyball champion of the world.
Just Germany,
but whatever. So the skin.
It was Germany, wasn't it?
Maybe, I don't know. The skin and photo were not enough for some, and an expedition was launched to capture live dragons, and that was led by the explorer W. Douglas Burden. What do you think his first name was? Wilhelm. William?
Yeah.
I'm saying Wilhelm.
What was it? W. Douglas?
Yeah. Westbrook.
No.
Winston.
What was the last name?
Burden. Burden.
Hold up. I'm being told that our Wi-Fi has no internet access.
Sweet. That's cool.
Yep.
If anybody wants to contribute to our Wi-Fi bill.
Accepting donations. We'll put our Venmo in the description.
Also going to be starting a OnlyFans page, selling pictures of my feet.
Of your feet? I thought we were doing my feet.
Both.
Let's see. It'll be a competition.
I did used to be a foot model, so.
No, you didn't.
I used to have fucked up toes.
You did. It was a battle for.
What are you looking up? Burden over there?
Yeah, stupid internet ain't working.
Right, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal.
William. Very boring. Why not just stick with William? Like, why do you have to?
I don't know.
Well, maybe that's why.
Maybe why,
because
yeah.
it was so boring. He
Yeah.
was like, I need some.
Sorry to all the Williams out there, but
I need something very unique about my name that makes people interested in me.
Yeah.
What was he? What was his deal?
He led an expedition that was launched to capture live Komodo dragons.
Okay.
In 1927, he returned from Komodo Island, which is in Indonesia, with 12 preserved specimens and 2 live ones. And the live specimens were almost immediately put on display at the London Zoo.
Neat.
The expedition provided inspiration for the movie King Kong. Kind of neat.
How?
Just like a remote island with these gargantuan creatures.
Okay. All right. I was like, that's not.
Yeah, I was thinking like when I was reading that, I was thinking it was going to say like Godzilla. Yeah. Shortly after the expedition, the Dutch island administration realized that the number of Komodo dragons was dwindling due to sport hunting because people are fucking assholes.
Direct quote.
Yeah. They heavily limited the number of specimens taken for scientific study.
And how many did this Douglas Burden jackass take? Like 14?
14.
What a scum.
14. Yeah. They're ugly looking fucking animals, man. But you know what? Even looking at this picture, they're cool looking, but they're ugly. Like even this picture, that is the one that you guys are looking at now. It looks like he has chainmail, like a chainmail suit on with nothing on his head.
Yeah.
Like look at that picture.
Dude, they're so cool. I mean, I guess the crocodile description is not so off.
Yeah, I guess.
From that picture.
I guess.
They're so cool. I don't feel like the one that we just saw in Animal Kingdom was very crocodile-y.
He was kind of small, I felt like.
I thought he was tiny too.
Yeah, I don't know. Poor guy. I also think it's weird that, like, their feet look backwards.
Yes. Like their knees are on wrong or something.
No, I'm looking at this toe. Like I feel like that looks like a thumb, not a pinky toe.
Oh, you mean like front legs and back legs are like
it's on the outside
image.
foot. Yeah.
I thought you meant like the way that their elbows and knees go out to the side versus
I'm
back.
looking at like that looks like that should be.
Yo, this looks like somebody like a bookie that you owe money to
right?
about to come for a payoff.
Right?
He's vicious looking.
I know, man.
I love him. They're cool as shit.
Like real deep V split tongue. Oh my god, so fucking creepy looking.
They're so cool.
All right, and the last one that I have.
Wait, do you have a date for like how far back they think the Komodo dragon like originated?
I don't. I know that the Komodo dragon has been around for a long time,
I'll
though.
see what I can
yeah,
find,
check that. I think that's one of the ones that they say has been like around with the dinosaurs.
With the freaking cockroaches?
Yeah. Let me know what you come up with there. I'm gonna eat a.
I have more over here.
Kit Kat. Oh, you got a lot more over there.
Yep.
What do you got? What year?
A lot of it's like when it was discovered.
It's fine. Not a huge deal. They're dinosaurs. They're from the Triassic period.
You just made that up.
No.
Yeah, you did.
It's done.
No.
It's fact.
No, it isn't. Don't listen to him.
All right, the next animal. Because that one's taking too long. Did you see what the next one was when I showed you the picture? Did you read ahead?
No, I didn't read ahead.
Did you?
I didn't read ahead. I looked at the damn freaking armadillo dragon.
Armadillo dragon would be pretty cool.
That's what he looks like.
All right, next one is, I feel like, going to be, what?
Nothing. I was going to say it right as you say it.
Your new favorite. Put that down because we're done with that. New favorite.
I don't think you can beat the sloth and the red panda.
The platypus. Wait until you see this picture.
Is it a baby?
Of a baby platypus.
But you can't do that though.
They're fucking adorable.
Yeah, but you can't do that. It's not the same. Because adult, you have to compare at all ages.
The adult looks like a floating turd.
With a beak like a fucking bird.
Yeah. Gorilla nostrils.
Like that's horrible.
Fucking wings and a chopped in half beaver tail.
They don't have wings.
No, but their front feet are
flippers.
Huge
they
webs.
Just look like soggy Snickers.
Soggy turds. Like a baby Ruth thrown in a pool.
Wait, where's the baby?
I said I don't have it here.
Oh, what the hell? What a fucking tease!
Well, you're gonna have to watch our episode.
Ugh. No, I have to listen to myself talk all fucking day. I'm not gonna do it when I don't have to.
So, a platypus.
I can't believe you just teased me with that. I'm so fucking mad at you.
It's awesome. I'm fucking awesome. Love it.
I hope you spill your drink again.
I might.
What an asshole. This might be your new favorite. It's a baby platypus. Wait till you see the picture. Oh, so just cute. Kidding.
So cute.
Give me like lady blue balls over here. That's some crap.
So I have a decent amount of information on this guy because these are absolutely fascinating, crazy animals. And this is another one that, like, as you're listening to this, think about what I'm telling you and what these people must have thought this fucking thing is when they're being told all of this shit. So it was first encountered by Europeans in 1798. A pelt and a sketch of the animal were sent back to Great Britain by Captain John Hunter, who, whatever, he was the second governor of New South Wales. Who gives a fuck? British scientists initially thought that this was a hoax. The scientist actually cut up the pelt that was sent because he was checking to see if there were stitches in it of somebody playing a joke, like just sewing a bunch of animals together. So he cut up the pelt to see.
So a pelt is like the whole body?
The skin, yeah. It's the whole, yeah.
It's everything though. It's not just like a sample of fur. It's the whole deal.
It's the whole deal, yeah.
Okay.
So he cut it up to see what the deal was with this thing. So it was thought to be a hoax until 1801 when its existence was confirmed by an expedition. It only took a little over 100 years for settlers to push the species into an endangered status. Fucking awesome job. Awesome job. It became protected by law in 1912. Because people are assholes.
Yep.
Like, I feel like that river otter turd-looking fucking thing can't taste good. Like, what are you doing eating it?
I know. And if it can survive in, like, the fucking Delaware, or, like, the Schuylkill, or, like if it could survive in a place like that, like in, like, this nasty, swampy, gross water, I definitely would not eat it.
Probably tastes like shit. Well, so one of the things
that's all it probably eats all damn day.
One of the things that they did hunt it for as settlers was its tail, and the same thing with beavers. It's such a heavy fat content that it was just a good survival food for the settlers, and they would do so much with that fat. They would render it for food. They would render it to eat. They'd render it for heat. So they basically just killed it into endangered status.
Survival of the fittest, I suppose.
I guess. So the early settlers had other names for it, like the water mole, the duckbill, or the duck mole.
Yeah, duckbill platypus. Isn't that what they call it now?
Or
is that a different kind of platypus?
No, it's just platypus. People call it duckbill platypus, but it's just platypus.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're little cute furry Australian mammals. They have the feet of an otter, the tail of a beaver, the bill of a duck. This is a mammal, but it lays eggs. I
forgot about that.
Yeah, it's one of 5 mammal species that do this. It's the platypus, and then there's 4 kinds of anteaters that do it. But
I don't know that I knew there were that many different kinds of anteaters.
I knew
thought
there
it was
were
just an anteater.
Apparently a ton of different kinds of anteaters. But yeah.
Do they all eat different kinds of ants?
Well, they're called
anteaters,
but they don't only eat ants.
But do they have like different?
No, they're just different habitats.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they had like different diets or different
different
preferences.
Habitats. Same thing as monkeys.
I wasn't trying to be a smartass. I was actually.
You're always trying to be a smartass.
No, I wasn't that time. It was a legitimate question.
So they're venomous.
What? A platypus?
A male platypus has venomous spurs on their ankles that deliver a mixture of toxins, 3 of which are unique to the platypus.
What the fuck?
Right?
Walking around with like fucking...
They got little fucking jabby jawns going on.
That's why their back toes look like thumbs.
Right. No, that's the Komodo dragon.
Oh shit, wrong animal.
These two probably make a fucking mean gang though. So they're venomous. They lay eggs even though they're a mammal. They use echolocation.
Electrolocation?
Like sharks do. Like they can feel vibrations. Like sharks can like sense when a fish is injured because of the vibrations.
Oh, that's called electrolocation?
Yeah. They use electrical sensors from the electrical pulses of your body.
Like a heartbeat?
No, every body has an electrical charge to it.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with like your actual heartbeat pulse. Right. It has to do with like your nerve conduction.
Yeah. So
holy shit! They can locate. I never knew that.
They can locate their prey, in part by detecting electric fields generated by the muscular contractions, which is similar to sharks.
I didn't know sharks could do that.
Yep.
That's cool.
That's what I forget what they're called. The little spots the sharks have on their snouts are that way. I forget what they're called. I want to say
like an additional sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
In 2020, scientists discovered that the platypus also glows a bluish green color when exposed to black light. So they have biofluorescence as well.
Yo, they're so cool.
They're so fucking weird.
Oh my god.
They're so fucking weird.
I don't know what would make any of those things useful to them. I mean, except the toxic toenail or
no idea.
What was it? A spur?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, like basically, like dogs have their dew claw. Like these guys have toxic spurs.
Walking around with like fucking cowboy boots on.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ!
Give me my money. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So where can you see a platypus? Right here. What would you do if there was just a platypus in this fish tank?
Shit. I would shit. As long as it's a baby. You're like, here you go. I don't have a picture of a baby, but I have an actual baby.
So their habitat is the highlands of Tasmania and Australian Alps all the way to the tropical rainforest of the coastal Queensland as far north as the Cape York Peninsula. So basically Australia.
Okay.
So they're in 10 zoos across the world. 9 of them are in Australia, which is its native habitat. One of them
I feel like that's weird.
Is in what's weird?
To have 9 zoos in one country be the 90% of the zoos in the world that have this animal are in the same country where you can actually find the animal. Like, I feel like it would make more sense to have it in places where you can't find it.
I think that is they're trying to breed them in captivity so they can release more back into the wild.
Okay.
Yeah, they're trying to get them out of the endangered.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 10th one.
They are endangered?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Is the San Diego Zoo.
Excuse me.
They have 2 platypuses, and by the way,
platypi.
So it's either you can use platypuses, or platypi.
Platypus is the plural as well?
It could be.
It could be?
Yeah.
Of course it could.
Platypi is.
This bastard don't have enough going on. Like, let's just whatever you want to be. Whatever you identify as today is fine with us.
So San Diego Zoo.
I like a platypod.
They have a link which is down in the description to a live feed of the platypus tank.
Yay! Are they gonna have? Do they have a male and a female?
It's a good question.
Them to have babies.
Probably.
I need them to have babies.
Yeah, probably.
Got me the babies.
As of 2020, they are a legally protected species and they're classified as endangered in South Australia, but only vulnerable in Victoria. So they are increasing.
That's good.
Yeah.
A little silver lining
look
today.
Very, very turd-like.
Yeah, he looks like a spiky piece of poop.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks like he's swimming in the Delaware.
Yeah, dude.
Nasty brown water.
That's what I was saying. Like, I mean, I didn't know exactly where they were, but I knew they weren't here.
Right.
But that's
what I got for this episode.
That was fun.
But I have some questions.
I have loads of questions all the time.
Give me one of your questions. Do you have a specific question, or are you just saying that in general?
I just mean in general. I always have questions. What do you got?
So, what's an animal that if someone described to you, you wouldn't believe?
Giraffe. Off the fucking bat. They're so stupid. Even the sounds they make are dumb. Do you ever watch one? Do you ever watch them fight? They're fucking
I'm gonna
necks.
throw my gigantic fucking neck at you.
Yo, the horns, the ears, the fucking gray tongue, that long ass stupid neck. They're fucking they're weird. They sleep for what, 20 minutes a day?
Yeah, we learned that in Disney.
That is some shit. They give birth standing up.
Like 23 hours of the day they eat.
I mean, so do I, but like, no, fucking giraffe. That's my answer.
I am 100% with you. That's the first thing that came into my mind was if somebody came to me and was like,
or a catfish.
I went on this fucking expedition and I found this animal that looks like a horse with really long legs, but it also has a super long neck.
Yeah, and its back legs are backwards. His knees go the wrong way. He's yellow with brown fucking patches.
Yeah.
Got fuzzy little fucking antennas on top of his head.
Like, my man,
but if you get close enough to his face, they're actually really cute.
Yeah, like, my man, what kind of drug did you find on this expedition? Because
you remember the fucking giraffe that tried to steal your hat out of your back pocket?
Yeah, we fed a giraffe at the one zoo close to us, and we were feeding him lettuce. And this guy, I had my winter hat in my back pocket, and this little fucker tried to grab it out of my pocket.
Yeah, and then we caught him right as we were about to take a picture, and he fucking looks right at the camera and smiles, all cute. It was really cute.
Yeah,
I think your hat was green too. That's probably why he tried to steal.
I'm with you with giraffe 100%. That's the first thing that popped in my mind.
Or what's the oh god, it's not a. It kind of looks like an elephant, but it's smaller. It has like a weird trunk on the front.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like the size of like a warthog, I think.
Yeah.
What the hell is that? It's not an anteater. It's like something kind of along those lines, but the nose isn't that long. They're pretty weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, though, right?
Tapir.
Yes.
Yeah, a tapir. They are goofy as fuck looking. Yeah. Here's a picture of one of them. Oh my god, they look like, oh my god.
It just looks like a big penis on his face.
It looks like a boar with no tusk but a dick on his nose.
Yes. It looks like a cartoon character. Mm-hmm. From outer space. Like, they're...
That has sex with his face.
Ugh. They're weird, too.
They're weird looking.
Or like a catfish would be my other one.
Why catfish?
Because they're so fucking weird looking. Like their mouths are weird. They've got like whiskers, but like you don't need them. They're fucking.
Fish are weird in general. I'd believe
that.
Fish
in general are weird, but like the catfish is. I don't know. To me, they look like a combination of different things. Like its body doesn't look like its head should be a match. Like its fins look out of proportion to me.
I might think this also about a jellyfish. Because, like, you mean to tell me there's an animal out there that's kind of like a clear plastic bag and just literally, like, can't really move. It just kind of floats around in the ocean and shit just comes to it and it eats it? Like, are you sure you didn't see a plastic bag?
Do they actually have, like, a mouth?
Yeah, they, like, absorb stuff. It's weird.
No, so, like, is it all, like, through their skin, or do they have, like, an actual mouth?
I think they have an actual mouth.
I don't think I've ever seen it, so I wouldn't even know.
I think they have an
that upside-down jellyfish dude is weird. You know what I'm talking about? The one that, like, floats, cool. And it looks like it's upside down, even though it's, like, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, jellyfish are weird.
They're weird.
Did any of these animals surprise you as being previously cryptids?
I mean, I know we talked about the gorilla, so yeah, that one surprised me originally when we talked about it, but I guess like you know, like a rhino, like rhinos are fucking huge. So the idea that it would be like a cryptid is odd to me because I feel like it doesn't really have the ability to be elusive. Like even the okapi is pretty big, but I feel like they're not as big as a rhino, and they're a little more rare. Like, it's weird to me that a rhino would not be like mainstream knowledge.
What I was thinking with the rhino was that they were looking for something different based on what Pliny the Elder had described.
Right, but
they were looking for a horse-like figure,
right?
Like your traditional unicorn that you would think of,
yeah,
not a rhino.
Right.
So my thought when I read that was maybe they, in searching for this unicorn, did see this rhino and they were like, that's something totally different because it's fucking massive. It's not a horse.
Yeah.
Like, so it may have just been pushed aside.
It's still weird to me at all because even if that were the case, they still would not have had like a known rhino.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like they still didn't have that in their
what that was,
their glossary of terms. Right. Like they didn't have that
I don't know.
in existence.
That's a good one.
So that's odd to me. I think the platypus I could definitely believe.
I still don't believe it exists. I truly don't.
I don't think I realized that they were mainly in. I mean, I'm not surprised that it's from Australia.
And of course, it's in Australia, so it has to be venomous. Like, it has to be able to kill you in some fashion.
I mean,
because
it's
every fucking animal in Australia,
as long as it has.
Every animal in Australia, this Woodford's hidden. Any animal in Australia has to be able to kill you somehow.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I think if anything else there can kill it, it has to be able to defend itself at least a little bit.
I guess.
You can't just smack it with your tail.
Fucking big ass beak.
That fucking beak ain't gonna do shit.
So weird, man.
And so I guess the Komodo dragon being able to run like faster than like a normal human is crazy to me.
Yeah.
He's a big boy. He don't look like he should.
It's probably
like
short burst like an alligator. Like,
I don't care.
Like, if you just trip somebody that's with you, you're fine.
I don't need to be able to outrun the bear. I just need to be able to outrun you.
Yeah. Next question was, actually we just talked about, was the unicorn and rhino thing. So there's a theory about the platypus that it is fake.
Oh, here we go. Is this a drone that's in the water now?
No.
It's the bird theory.
But there is a theory that this animal was created in a lab because all of its, quote, evolutionary additions are just so unlikely and random.
Yeah.
So there's a theory that it was created in a lab and that it was created to destroy the Australian ecosystem or destabilize the Australian ecosystem.
What would be the benefit of doing that?
Who the fuck knows?
So it would be like some kind of foreign enemy that wanted to do it, and yet the bastard has survived. Right. So, what, like, I know we talked about the okapi and its like closest relative being the giraffe. Do we know what the closest relative to the platypus is?
I don't think there really is.
Is it a beaver? Is it a fucking otter? Is it a duck? Like,
I don't think there really is one. I mean, I guess.
Who does he belong to? Who wants to claim him?
Right? I don't know. Closest relative to platypus. If our internet works, I'll give you an answer.
It's
platypus
not hugely important. I just was curious.
Mammals.
I mean, it lays eggs. It's got a mouth like a duck, a fucking
relatives
ass like a beaver.
Of the platypus are... See, there's nothing even really clear here. It looks like anteaters would be their closest relative because, like, the monotreme, which is the species of echidnas, which are the anteaters. So that would be who their closest relative is. Weird. So
interesting. So the anteater
is their closest.
And it's not, an anteater doesn't live in the water.
No.
So, like, they're not even in the same habitat.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I honestly could believe that this was created in a lab. Like,
I could see that.
It just doesn't make sense. Nothing about this animal makes sense.
Okay. I agree. I don't think anything about it makes sense. None of the things that it possesses go together at all.
Yeah.
So.
I don't get it. So last question is, seeing these now common animals that were cryptids really not long ago.
Yeah.
Even though they were discussed or described many years prior to when they were actually discovered as an actual animal. Right.
Proven. Yeah.
How does that affect, or does it affect your thoughts on other cryptids like Bigfoot.
Oh, they're all fucking real.
And Loch Ness.
Chupacabra is real. Dragons are real. Bigfoot is real.
Damn, you're going for it.
No. I don't. So I know we've sort of talked about Bigfoot before. Like, I don't know.
You're a skeptic for sure.
No. I'm not like a full blown like, oh, you guys are crazy. But I don't know that it is. I think that there are too many other possible explanations for the location and the area that he's frequently seen in. And I just don't think it's one Bigfoot. Like, it's got to be a whole ass species.
So you think it is Bigfoot?
If
you don't?
There is one.
Okay.
It's got to be more than one.
So, I mean, as far as cryptids go, like some other ones, like Mothman or like Jersey Devil, like, do you believe that they... How does... Seeing that some of these animals were cryptids, but like you could literally drive a half hour down the road to the zoo and see a bunch of these animals.
Right.
How does that affect
how I feel about the things that are currently just labeled as cryptids? I think dragons existed at some point, and we'll talk about that in another episode. I think that I don't know about unicorns. I don't know how I feel about unicorns. The flying...
Well, no, unicorns were never flying. Pegasus is a flying horse. But unicorns were never noted as flying. They were just a horse with a horn.
All the ones that I've seen, like, in, like, mythology and shit were... Or maybe not mythology, but, like... Yeah, mythology.
I'm pretty sure unicorns weren't originally
I thought they were
put
flying
in as flying.
with...
No, Pegasus is a flying horse.
Well, yeah, I know that, but he's not a unicorn. That's different. What else? What are some other cryptids? Throw some at me, and I'll tell you if I think they're real or have ever been real.
Yeah, no unicorns that pop up on this search real quick have wings.
Okay, well, in any case, I don't know that I believe that a horse with a horn.
Loch Ness.
I think Nessie is there.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
So when we talked about Nessie, and Casey has that book, you can fit, is it 20 statues of Liberty?
Something like that.
Head to toe? Between the top and the bottom of Loch Ness?
Something like that.
Yeah. I think, I mean, I don't know if she still exists and she's still living. But my understanding is that there's a portion of Scotland that was not always connected, and the Loch Ness was not originally a lake. And then when the portions of land connected, it basically locked her in.
Right.
So the theory is that she belonged to a larger group of her own kind and somehow got separated from the pack.
Yeah.
And got stuck in the lake. But, she can't live forever. So whether she existed at some point and then just died is more likely. I don't think she's still living and people are still seeing her. But I think that at some point there was something there. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What else you got?
That's all I got.
Okay.
I mean, I think that as far as cryptids go, I mean, I'm a believer in Bigfoot for sure. But I think seeing these, it really kind of solidified in my mind that, like, there's so many places on this earth, particularly in the deep oceans, that we just know nothing about.
Exactly.
And there's so many animals down there, and maybe there is a kraken down there. Maybe there is a megalodon down there. Like, there's... Yeah, and so, like, cryptozoologists also study animals that went extinct. Like the Tasmanian tiger. Thiaclin, I think is what it was called, something like that. But it was an animal on the island of Tasmania that went extinct. But we know that they existed because we had them in a zoo. And they went extinct, and now there's
So you're thinking that some of these cryptids could have potentially been things
real and then went extinct. Yeah.
So that's kind of my thought, like with Loch Ness.
Like they're actually doing DNA studies on this. I think it's called a thylacine. You looking that up?
Thylacine.
That's it.
Thylacine.
Yeah. So they're actually doing DNA studies on this thing, and there's been talk of them using genetic DNA modification to remake this animal and reintroduce it to Tasmania.
That's pretty awesome. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So I definitely think that a lot of these, for me, just kind of solidified the fact that, like, there were centuries in some of these cases that people were talking about animals and nobody believed what they were saying because they had no proof of it. And sometimes it takes that long to get proof of things. So it definitely solidified it that there is there's a chance for you, Bigfoot. There's a chance.
If you don't die by then, buddy.
Yeah. Well, if there's one, there's multiple, and they're reproducing, in my opinion. Anyway, any final thoughts?
No.
All right.
No, that was interesting.
Then,
it was fun.
With that, do you have any more drink over there?
I do.
All right, good. I need to pour myself just a tidbit more. But with that, thank you guys for listening.
Thanks, everyone.
I love the cork top on this. Hit us up on all of our social media. The links are below. Our link tree is below. Don't have a drink link this week in there because we're just drinking
whatever we got.
Shit. Yeah.
Random shit, like the things we talked about.
Exactly. There you go. Phone number 267-450-9448. Again, all of this is in the description below. It's on the Spotify. It's on the YouTube stuff. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, like us, and follow us on Facebook. And I think we should do a Facebook Live at some point soon. On one of these episodes we're recording, we should do a Facebook Live. That'd be fun.
It'd be fun.
That'd be cool. Awesome. Hit us up. Thank you guys so much for listening. And to all the new listeners, all the old listeners, all the previous cryptids, and hopefully the yet to be discovered ones, we love you all. Thank you for listening. That's another episode of A Toast to the Atypical.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.